digits high.
Fuck it, I'm gonna
The Among Us you see at the top.
watch.
Here,
Welcome back to Blank.
basically just
I was gonna play some more Etrian Odyssey, but
pixels in one of two colours.
it's too late, and I think
So I took pi,
it will be a lot more chill for me to play something like this than Etrian Odyssey. I don't know, there's practically no difference between the two, honestly, though.
and then reduce the width to make 4 digits. Color those in. Zeros to the background.
I will not explain how.
3,352 binary digits of pi. There's that Among Us. And there's plenty. You keep going. After 1,227,692 digits, there's the same crewmate again. Fungi are definitely hidden in the digits of pi, but these ones are just the beginning. Before we do that, however, we need to thank our sponsor. In a second, I need to thank the sponsor of this video.
Maybe I enjoy this game more than I think, and that's why I'm playing
First, I
more
want
of
to get a little
it.
selfie of Sam. Let's just do that. Okay, ready?
An Arc Manor.
Okay, so look at that digital image over there. That turned out quite nicely, and they got on there real
Can't read
quick.
the
So while
gravestones.
I'm thinking, the sponsor,
Boo.
betterhelp.com/standupmaths. If you watch this, it's going to become some numbers. Check it out. So betterhelp.com, that's help, H-E-L-P, online counselling service. You go on there, you put some details in about yourself, they will link you up to their
Really, it's
tens
just
of
a matter.
thousands of licensed professionals
Neat.
all around the world. So if there's an aspect of your mental health which is stopping you from achieving your goals, you can go on to betterhelp, HELP.com/standupmaths, and you can text chat, you can just send messages, you can do video chat with your counsellor, whatever you need to improve your mental health. I should say, not a crisis line. If you need like quick, important now mental health, I'll put some
Okay,
links
it's the
below
white
so you
bits.
can check those out or
Hey.
find your crisis line or support available in the
Let me-
country you're in. And
Let me
depending
check
on where
those
you are,
pronouns again
you
real
might be
quick.
entitled to free mental health
My
support.
wife,
So make sure
Martha,
you do
and
that
I.
as well. But often, betterhelp.com/standupmaths where you
My
pay
wife and I
online
will have a
counselling
small
can
problem.
be more efficient, it can be
Offer
quicker, it can be more
key.
convenient, and possibly more cost effective. And I have definitely used
Key.
counselling before, and when I was at university,
Okay,
I
so
found it invaluable. So
the
that's
wife
I like having better
uses he/him pronouns, or
discussing mental health.
I'm gonna stop overthinking.
Now,
I'm pretty sure that was just a typo.
our image all in digits. Check it out. So
There's a problem with me.
the original.
It's why I'm such a grammar Nazi. It's just
Interesting. I think that kind of works. Smaller. It's a little more obvious, but we'll get to that in a moment.
I never just assume mistakes. I always assume that the spelling is as correct as can be.
Waldo. For some reason, different name in different countries. Waldo in America. Wally everywhere else. It's a lot like the whole math thing in that regard. Anyway, Wally was a classic thing to find. And actually, this was already on my mind, because just before Reddit did the Big Place experiment, my friend Zach Wiener-Smith, who you may know from the Sunday morning breakfast cereal comics, put a tweet out saying, well, actually, it was hidden in one of the old bits in one of their comics. The points are irrelevant. What they said was 10 internet points to the first person to find a way to extract a Waldo visually from the binary expansion. Hi, and that's a great nerdy challenge. And I was thinking, right, this was kind of in the back of my head when I saw the Among Us thing. I was already thinking, how would I find an image, the digits of pi? And Wally is different. Wally is a lot bigger. And the first Among Us I found was like
Bruh.
4x4.
Okay, I don't think
image.
this.
Way more like
I'm pretty sure this just a side.
Although I did
This
try
is
to
side
find bigger
content, but
ones in more complicated
I want to
situations.
see where this
So
leads.
first of all, I didn't
I believe-
always wrap the
Yep.
width that I needed strictly for the size of the image. And I found that same first Among Us by wrapping every 11 pixels as well. And that means you get a bit of noise around it. If you go down just after 2,477,785 binary digits,
Lab.
there's another one. This time hiding out with a lot more pixels around it. So you got to search all the different possible wrappings. You can also cheat by swapping the ones and zeros. So when I wanted to find one of the bigger ones, so one of the ones from the Brazil section.
Did Elias bring out? Oh
Yeah.
my god, there's enemies here.
So I've got to find more in a row. Well, more
Great.
equally spaced.
Let's go.
Each one has to be the same. Each string make the next part of the image has to be the same offset from the previous one.
Spectral Pulse actually freaking sucks. It barely deals any damage for how much it costs. Cracked? What does that even mean? Then you're high on cocaine?
Digits from the beginning of pi. I always start with the very first digit.
Say it ain't so.
Some of the alumni I found wrapped off one side and on the other. I ignore those. And this one here, this is if you swap. Now the ones in the background, the zeros in the foreground. This is a mere 53,509 binary digits in pi. There's one of the bigger ones. But the bigger the image, the harder to find. Waldo's getting pretty big. As a springboard, I thought I'd go via.
My defenses were low.
Resource section.
What horror.
What is that? Pi symbol. Someone hit pi, I think accidentally,
Okay, spells explosion.
in place, but that
Great.
place. Now, to find pi in pi. Come on, this one's 5 pixels across by a mere 3 down. Sure enough,
Nice.
found plenty of these. I can absolutely confirm that the pi symbol is hidden in the binary digits, the value of pi. Ah, maths, sometimes universe really give us the take of Waldo, very tricky.
Something I've nearly forgotten to acknowledge with Epic Odyssey that I really like about it, compared to other games. At first, I really didn't like the idea too much that I didn't get any money from monsters. Instead, they dropped items that you then had to sell. Items, for the most part, don't really have a use other than being sold directly. So all they're technically doing is making the interface for gaining money more complicated than the typical RPG. But I actually really appreciate it now. Now that I'm playing a game like Blank. First of all, there's immersion. You know? Random monsters won't be dropping money, so Etrian Odyssey kind of gives an answer to one of the greatest mysteries of RPGs. Why the hell do monsters drop money? The answer is they don't. They drop materials that you then later sell, and that is the money. Of course, in Etrian Odyssey, they do drop materials, and you do have to sell them rather than immediately dropping the money. And again, I like that because it creates a very nice gameplay loop. It gives you incentive to try fighting a variety of enemies and to try beating them in different ways, because here's the gold drops and the fact that selling enough of a certain type of enemy. I mean, looking at it in a negative way, you could view it as needless grinding. But what I think it's better to look at it positively. I will murder your face. That's what I'm talking about. Do I even dare? I've had enough of this. Fuck.
Sure, this is what a hidden, pixelated Among Us looks like. But Wally,
And yeah, there's the fact that in that Twin Odyssey you have limited inventory. But again,
only searching
serves a very good gameplay loop purpose.
a million binary digits, so I was using the first 1 million hexadecimal digits, which is and anything bigger than what I was looking for, very unlikely you're going to find it. But someone, to be honest, solve these problems, feed me to it, someone with a brain, printed that, and then they inject the first 100 billion binary digits, way more than what I'm doing, and they looked at loads of different options for how you would pixelate Wally, right? So they had loads of different images they were looking for. They were looking at different wrestling of digits, and they had way more than I did. So that, they were allowing this mistake.
Maybe one of them actually has treasure in it, but
Distances away.
until I get evidence
It takes to go from one
for such a thing, I'm just gonna ignore that room.
It's very simple to be having distance.
Go south.
That's a measure of how many mistakes it takes to go from one code word to another code word to use one your information. So, for example, say you've got correct word
Where?
Waldo. Well, to go from Wally to Waldo, first of all, it almost picks up the D, and then in Y has picked up the O. So that's two mistakes. Well, you can look at it in either direction. There are two changes to go from Wally to Waldo. Say it's got a hammy distance. 2.
I think I should just run. This guy sucks.
The subtle difference is you can have it
All it does is blind anyway.
the word mat.
I am literally just wasting time.
Very simple word.
Let's use items.
A lot of you enjoy pointing out. Very simple words. To go from one to the other, first of all, you've got to turn the T into an H, but that's not enough. It's not math. Around here it's maths. You have to add an S. So the subtle difference is we're adding and subtracting values. 2 steps. Same distance from Wally to Waldo.
Screw you, whoever invented,
Maths or weird sentence.
whoever first came up with that
Doing here, instead of looking for this
with
specific
programming
element,
interactables,
the definite
fuck you.
Wally face, we're allowing.
And to anyone who's following it,
the 25%.
fuck you
It's
too.
pretty generous. I mean, I imagine it as like the cloud
Well,
of values around the true value, which are close enough.
Last of I've done it.
You know,
After combining the flesh of the dead with my magically altered vials of corruption, I'm sired a creature that only answers to me. Too early to draw a conclusion, this monster's living proof that corruption can be controlled. There's a problem though. Not sure why, but the creature sees me as a parental figure, not a master. A small anomaly, but it'll have to do. I've decided to leave my creation here, to protect this lab from any unwanted visitors. As for the beast itself, I've been thinking of a name. It's naming things it's hard, I just decided to call it whatever came to the top of my head. Yeah, I called my creation
This picture
Fluffy.
of Wally, Waldo.
Fluffy.
You can't argue with that. That is definitely Wally. But they have cheated.
Of course.
So you may notice this says Wally.
Daddy statue.
I was working with before. It's not
Oh,
just
that is not Fluffy.
They've actually used the full hexadecimal.
Viv is that, you sure? You're not Daddy. You're an intruder. What a guardians. Daddy hates intruders, so I'll make him proud. By killing you. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but Daddy's dead. Don't worry though, we'll fix that.
Seeing those colors.
By breaking you. So you can be with Daddy.
One of, any of the sort of possible values. You just then have to find the colors where you cleverly match them up to subtly different but visually.
Yo, the hex is so steep.
Colors. You get an image of Wally, we switch this to grayscale.
The game really loves its trance genre songs. Or vaporwave, more likely. I actually don't know what kind of genre these songs might fit into.
It's impressive. Just a little less of Wally. You can tell me Wally's never to hide, but 521,165 binary digits in my Wally's right eye. Out. Noise. Oh, we see you, Wally. Yeah. While we're on the topic of images in digits, it would be a nice place to put a very small update to the finding a picture in a prime phrase 2017, so half a decade ago, I did a video about finding images in prime, or rather, an image and finding a prime that looks a bit like that image at the time. Jesse emailed me and said, I've found your face in a prime. Rather, I found a prime that looks like your face. This was it. But last, I've still got hair. In other words, a picture of
Just like strangers. Neither do I. And you know what I don't like? You being still alive. Are you kidding me?
Just shut up. Too much gravity tests. I was talking about this in the podcast I do with my business group, buddies. We do a podcast. I won't necessarily hit up. We do now podcast. Please do check it out. We're very pleased with it. In one of the episodes, I was talking about these things and I mentioned and I emailed Jesse to say, oh hey, remember like 5 years ago when this picture came? They're like, it's the station version. And this one, wow, it's original, new prime face, and prime image technology come on a long way. There's no longer a bunch of mess in the corner, and Jesse's put some extra properties into the prime. It's so nice. And they've made their code available. So I will link to their GitHub below. You can download their code and you can use it to any image you want. Oh, that's kind of fun. And I thought I better find a way to automate that so I can run it across a series of images. So, I'm going to do this video now. Ready? Primes. Check it out. All primes. Oh, you can see with my arm up. Does that work? I think that works. And it's not just me. That could be all primes. Could be anything. Yes, Thanks for watching this video about my weird.
Wow. It was my weak point, but it didn't deal jack shit.
And I cannot.
Idiot. Weakling. Pathetic.
Right. Download the code is super easy to install. I mean, I managed to get it working. Take images.
But to be fair, I can't deal damage either, can I?
Give someone. Prime number of their face. Come on. Nothing says I love you. Their face. Or yours. Yeah, it's a prime. That's my dog.
Oh my god, finally. Lawn anxiety, go. That's the point. Even that was an insane fool. Guy literally got his own unique boss team.
What's that? You want to see someone install and...
Have the challenge powered some efforts surrounded by what?
Sinopit? Ah!
Howdy. You know what I've been dying to talk about since one of my very first videos? Why the heck does Deltarune contain an element system? Seriously, I don't
yeah,
get
there's
it.
just
Why
healing
go
out
through the
here.
effort to
Dang it.
include this? Is it going to be
I'm
important later?
wasting my
Well, we need
potions
to
and stuff.
understand the
Still
element
left.
system to make sure our attacks are super effective. We know Mega
Please.
IC Neo starts rapidly shuffling between
I really
elements.
should just stop.
Why the heck is Spamton a cat? Sorry about that. If you're new here and have no idea what I'm talking about, starting in Chapter 2 of Deltarune, whenever you visit one of these save points, you have the option to check your recruits, which, amongst other things, will display the element of each of the enemies you've managed to befriend. While at first this might appear to be just some silly bit of flavor text, these elements do correspond to actual armor, which can be used to reduce the amount of damage you take from incoming bullets. I already did a pretty thorough video covering Element 6, and how, by wearing the mannequin or the frayed bow tie, one can acquire a defense against cats, which will allow you to take less damage against Task Manager, for some reason, Spamton Neo. But what about the other elements? Is there anything we can learn about the characters, the world, or the future of the story from taking a closer look at them? Well, let's dive in and find out. Before we get started, spoilers for Undertale and Deltarune. Don't hassle people for using text-to-speech, and be nice to your fellow theorists when you disagree in the comments. At first, I thought researching this video would be super easy. I'd just go into the code, open up the list of elements, and report on my findings. But when I opened up the code, that's not very helpful, is it? It seems like instead of assigning each enemy an elemental value, Toby actually assigns them to the enemy's bullets. The elements we see listed in the recruit table are actually just strings added in, one at a time, for each individual enemy. So even though we can use this to assign the element names to the enemies, we can't use this to learn which element corresponds to which elemental number. Curses.
Oh.
Well, maybe we can work backwards. We do know from the armor info that element
So
1
this
is
is
full
business.
slash electric, element 6 is cat, and element 7 is mouse. So there must be some code somewhere, keeping track of which is which, right? Beauties and gentle beauties, friends beyond the bounds of conventional attraction, may I present to you the elemental damage reduction script. That's right, folks. While we may not have the list of every element, we do have the script describing how that damage is reduced by your armor. So let's go ahead and see what secrets we can pry from this bad boy, shall we? To begin with,
Oh, no,
here
they're
at the
just
bottom is
friends,
a
I
line
guess.
of code that caps the elemental defense so that no combination of armor can
I
reduce
guess
the elemental
Elias
damage by more than
and Vivisex
75%.
both used to
That is to say, bullets will
work
still do at least 1/4 of their overall
for the
damage.
country.
So, even if you manage to find some sort of Jebel's ring of 50% chaos protection, you won't be able to equip 2 and then stand in a rainstorm of chaos bombs. I mean, you will, but not for very long. But we're here for the elements themselves, right? So does this script
That's
tell
why
us
the
anything about those? Let's see. Starting off the list, we have element 0. These
graveyards
bullets are
were
completely exempt from
had
elemental
holes.
defense, so we can go ahead and think of them as element piercers, or non-elemental damage. Tempting though it may be to think of these as the default element, I do actually see the script going out of its way to set the overworld bullets to this element. So it seems like Toby doesn't want players to use armors as a method of cheesing the overworld bullets.
Shoot!
I think might be a bit worrying to players who
Shoot!
spend time dying on the teacups in Chapter 2. The other elements work about how you'd expect. Element 1 bullets are reduced by element
Oh my god.
armor, such as the Sky Mantle. Element 2 corresponds to element 2. But below, what is this I see? If the item's element is set to 9, reduce damage from elements to an 8. Okay, so element 9 is actually special, because it provides the protection of 3 different types of armor simultaneously. That's awesome. I'm a little surprised to be honest, because in Undertale, 9 was a number that was strongly associated with power, determination, and with the first fallen human. So this kind of makes me wonder what elements 2 and 8 are. Please don't let element 8 be spiders. Actually, in the check data, 8 is used for both Toriel and Asgore, so I wouldn't be shocked if it turned out to be the slot for fire. As for 2, there are way too many 2s. Wait. No, not touching that one. Finally, we get to element 10, which is very special, because it protects against everything. Cats, mice, holding. No matter what element the game throws at you, element 10 has got your back. If this game ends up having a Tamar or equivalent, I'd be shocked if it didn't turn out to be using element 10. And if Hope and Dreams turn out to have an element, I'd bet you anything this will be the element for it. But before you get too excited strapping on your ethereal armor, do remember that element 0 will still pierce element 10's defenses, so you will still die to the teacups. And there we go. We now know that there will be at least 11 element types. Element 9 will protect against 2, 8, and 9. Element 10 will protect against everything. And element 0 will pierce through everything. So, is there any way we can use this info to deduce which elements correspond to which numbers? Maybe. Maybe not. The thing about trying to do that is, with only 2 chapters out, we are missing so much information it makes my head spin. To begin with, how many elements are there per slot? Is it 1 per slot with Holy/Electric being an outlier, which generally covers the sky element? Or is it 2? If it is 2, which element pairs with Mouse in slot 7, and Cat in slot 6? Is 6 also sound? Strings? Cosmic Horror? Wait, I don't think there's a radical for Cosmic Horror yet. Huh? Is it Rune? Is Rune even an element? We know that Susie's Rune Buster does Rune-type damage, and that other party members such as Noelle can use Ice-type damage, which does correspond with a known element held by one of the enemies. But we don't actually know what that means yet, since that could actually just be foreshadowing of Noelle becoming an enemy or a boss fight later on in one of the chapters. Which might be a problem if we taught her Snowbrave now that I think of it. Oops. Then again, what about Red Buster? Would this count as a color-type attack? There's really no way to be sure. I don't see any code suggesting that our spells have elements assigned to their attacks, but that doesn't mean Toby won't add it in later. This is the challenge with speculating about a game that isn't complete yet. Toby could literally retcon just about any component of this game at any moment. And even if he doesn't, we're still missing too much data to really be certain about any of these. For example, consider Ravik. They're a Dust Rabbit type, but as of the time of this video, they are the only enemy with either Dust or Rabbit as a type. So if I start analyzing the heck out of their personality and behaviors, how can I be sure which traits are Rabbit and which ones are Dust? Or what about enemies that have multiples of the same element, like
Oh, I remember this.
Mouse Wheel?
So, if this looks somewhat familiar, that's because that is clearly an Undertale reference right there. This game came out shortly after Undertale. got released, the full version. That this place has always confused me. So, Vivizacus Gaster confirmed. So he's doing all these experiments while Elias is still fucking alive. What the fuck? I guess it's meant to be a little. I guess it's meant to be creepy, because you know this game is trying to be weird and creepy and stuff. But like, come on, how do I take you seriously when you just do a reference to Undertale like that, and not even try to be subtle about it? What's waiting for me at the end of all this bullshittery? Good. See vial. So corruption's also being treated as some kind of virus. Can I assume that's a Resident Evil reference? It's even called C, come on. Penumbra. Testing chamber. Forest. Lima. Sierra. Why am I not surprised? Maybe Wonder Guard also has a taunting effect to it, which would be nice if that was the case. Otherwise, it really is just kind of a useless ability, I think. I think I should just spam Luminous Seal, there's really no point otherwise. Need for buffs, this guy's pretty weak. Yeah, 3 hits. Huh. Wait, Lima. Isn't she the shopkeeper? Oh, nice. Whoops, didn't mean to. Whatever. I feel like I was gonna do something, but I forgot. How do we already know their name before reading that? Wonderful. Why did I even bother? Got away. Buck is number 4. Let's run. Dang it. Need to heal.
More mouse than a normal mouse. Like, should I assume that one of the attributes of the mouse element is spinning in
One more try.
circles? Or is spinning just what happens when we shove multiple copies of an element into one person? After all, our other example, Jebel, is also spinning. Spinning. Wait a flipping second.
Hopefully the noise
What the
from
heck is
going up
that?
the stairs.
Every element in Japanese has one radical per element, and I thought maybe Jebel would be the exception, because he spells chaos out in full. But no. No, it can't be. Let's see. Just Japanese. Way we classify them, as these are the only enemies that seem to use the word hypnotize to describe the way they regard us. So then, chaos should be part of the order element? Or do all three of these elements go together? Can one slot contain 3 elements, or even 4? Which numbered element does this even fall under? As if that's not confusing enough, I've had some commenters suggest that Spamton's element 6, should overlap with Order, since Fiend Task Manager are the only enemies in the game to reference Jebel specifically in battle, and I do see where this logic stems from. As in battle, we do see other examples of this. For example, Vera Kun and Ambulance don't seem to do very well on a team, and Mouse, when paired with the task, laments.
Oh, I remember now. I wanted to turn off the animations.
But I'm not so sure
Because
this
the
is
game
wrong
or
for the elements,
combat already
which
takes
is
so
one
goddamn
I'd like to
long.
present.
Okay, yeah, these guys
Pair
will suck.
characters up at the southern table and see the dialogue between
They don't give enough XP to be worth fighting.
So if you see Happy and Head Happy together, for example, they seem
run.
to enjoy each other's company. At first, that might seem like evidence for elements influencing relationships, since they're both hard. But the moment you dig a bit deeper, that theory starts to fall apart. Most pairings based on like elements don't seem to have any effect at all. So if we pair Mouse up with Jigsaw, for example, we don't see any sort of kinship between them, even though they are both Mouse type. Same for Vera Kun and Pop-Up. You'd think since they are both Virus type they'd have some sort of unique interaction, but the dialogue remains completely unchanged. For Task and Mouse, there is a new line here, because cats chase mice, but there isn't any sort of dialogue for pairing Task up with Mouse Whale, or Jigsaw, or any other mouse type creature. Same for Head Happy and Wire. She enjoys their company, but not that of a normal Wire, nor a Bloxer, nor any other fight nor electric type enemy. By and large, it seems like character relationships are defined by the personalities and experiences of the individuals, and not their elemental alignment. So as a general rule, I caution against using their personal relationships as evidence for or against certain elements. That said, I do think we can learn more about individual elements by comparing enemies of overlapping types against each other, like I did earlier. And while I'm not going to go over every single case because some of them lack information, I would like to highlight a few of the more interesting examples. For one, Electric does seem to be pretty consistent so far with the idea of energy, and even though Ambulance isn't described as fully type, it still has cross-type imagery in its attacks and sprites, reinforcing the idea that Holy and Electric are two sides of the same coin. Jewel seems to be about both shiny things and the concept of greed or avarice. And Fight seems to center its themes around rivalry, antisocialness, and the shape of one's physical body. But you know which two elements I find to be super overlooked? Ice and Play. In Chapter 1, there are two Darkners that seem to resemble powered-up versions of earlier Darkners. That would be Head Happy, which is a powered-up version of Happy, and Rutted Ranger, which is a powered-up version of Rutted. Head Happy is interesting because she's our only example of Ice. That is, until we get Noelle as a party member. And the main thing that separates Head Happy from Happy is that she's withdrawn. She's quiet. It seems like she has a bit of a theme of suppressing her emotions and distancing herself from others. In other words, you could say she's a bit cold. Weirdly enough, cold is an actual stat for Noelle. And as it goes up in the Snow Gray run, we actually see her behavior become more and more withdrawn and suppressed. So if Head Happy is helping us understand how the ice element affects Noelle, could the same thing be intended for the Ranger? Rocket Ranger is our only example of Blade, and I find that to be a super intriguing choice of element, because blades are directly associated with the knight, and with any lightner who chooses to channel their will by plunging.
I will say though, I'm not sure if it's showing, but this game does do a good job of doing the creepiness. The game feels very unsettling. I'd compare it to Earthbound, a game that I've tried playing, but never actually went through with it. Both Earthbound and Earthbound Zero. Mother 3 is cool, it doesn't have any unsettling feelings to it, but the modern setting, the very familiar modern setting that Earthbound takes place in, unlike most other RPGs, in contrast with all of this psychic stuff going into it, really makes the game feel unsettling and creepy.
but
like
also
a
because of the way
freaking
the
lamp
power of
suddenly
attacks
showing
during
up to
boss
attack
fights,
you, like
specifically
that
by
is so
changing the color
scary.
of the purple root busters
Like
into
I used to have a lampshade
But I think the most
in
interesting trait the
in my
Red Rangers
room.
seem to share with
I don't
Chris
have it
is their
anymore
inferiority
since
complex.
we don't
As when we
need
see them
a
drinking with Red in the
lampshade
cafe, the
anymore.
Ruddens complain that the
Like
Red
man,
Rangers
just
are
the
constantly
thought
trying to
of my
line up
lampshade
their
suddenly
defensive
coming up to
weapons.
try and attack me is
Actually,
so
speaking
creepy
of an
to me.
inferiority complex, can I just say that this cut dialogue of Raw saying musing about how strong Noel is with ice magic comes off as super unsettling to me. I'm not sure if it's because Noel and Ralsei have similar spells, if it's because Ralsei seems to like being extra close to Chris, or if it's because this line seems like another nod to the Snow Brave route. But I don't know. I guess I can't add it to the Ralsei sus file and Toby cut it, can I? Oh well. Either way, there are a lot of ties the game draws between Noel and Chris, from their shared love of chocolate, to their similar sounding CD bagels, to their status as a pair of young teens longing to be reunited with their older siblings. So if Head Happy is meant
There
to
you
inform us about
go.
Noel's element,
My
it seems
god, that's so
only fitting that Running
stupid.
Ranger would be
If there
informing
is a
us about
clue,
Chris's blade element as
I
well.
didn't find it. It's
If you're one
I
of those
hate
theorists looking for fresh
I
evidence
hate
that
this
Chris
room.
is the knight, then I do think Ronin Ranger poses as a pretty good piece of evidence to strengthen those symbolic connections. Although I would like to point out that there is another character with a bit of an inferiority
you know, I should
complex and a vague connection to the color red. Or wait, is that red or orange? Aw crap, it's the Vermilion trap all over again. Run. Even if you think the element system won't play a role in the story itself, it seems extremely likely to me that the elements will play progressively larger roles in the secret boss fights. As Jebel is the embodiment of his element, Chaos, Spamton's element can be guarded against via cat armor, and Shaw seems to believe the boss of Chapter 3 will be impossible to defeat without a certain missing mantle. While I do think it's pretty likely that this will eventually be the Sky Mantle, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the chapter that introduced the concept of players using elemental attacks either, so maybe grab yourself a couple of the big ones, just in case we need to forge some kind of holy hook sword to
there's a
support
healing
our
thing
MIA
here. God
Holy
dang it.
Halberd. It's funny.
I know
While
there's a
everyone
boss
else is
fight
making
coming.
big
We all know
cards
there's
about
a
their
boss
guesses for
fight
Chapter
coming.
3's plot and characters, I'm making them for the elements and their numbers. I don't think I can definitively pin any of them without devolving into tinfoil hat levels of confirmation bias fueled guesswork. But there is one I think I can take a stab at, because it shows up in both Undertale and Deltarune. You ready for this? If we go into the monster data for Undertale, there's a certain amalgamate associated with the code. This is Snow Drakesmaw, and if you've ever played the Snow Grave route before, you might find her monster ID number of 55 to be a bit chilling. What? You think it's just a rounding error when Noel's AHP drops to 55, and not Toby sneaking the word love in through Roman numerals? I don't know how. At this point he did it twice, so I guess I'll have to leave that debate for the comments. What do you guys think? Does Toby keep sneaking 55 into these characters on purpose? Or is this just a weird
The lore
coincidence?
deepens.
Should chaos be paired with order? Are we rude? Is rude even an element? Let me know your thoughts down below, because honestly, there's a lot
of cares being put in the world building. It's such a shame that the characters are super weak in this game.
Love for all the help with translations. To Sergio, Whackbite, Alexander, Space Core, and everyone else who helped my tiny
Characters drive a story. The story is built upon a world, and a world is filled with characters. That is the trifecta of a story. Having all three be good is necessary if you want the majority of people to experience your thing to consider it as good. Obviously, you can put a bit more focus on one or two rather than well-rounding all three of them and ignore a few. Oh my. Hello, Veta. What can I do? Hey, what's that in your pocket? My what? Your pocket! What have you got there? Rachel, it's nothing really. It's just... You're lying! I can sense you know something. Rachel, I don't know what you're talking about. just want to see how you were feeling. That's all. Just what? See if I was okay. Buy some of your stuff as well while I'm at it. See if I wasn't corrupted. No, I'll have you know that I can handle my stuff just fine. In fact, if you had come along, I would have devoured Robert and... Oh shit. There I go, running my mask off again. Now, unless there was anything else you needed, Beta, I must be... Hey, now that I think about it. I always thought it was strange how you were the only survivor here in Salina Town. After going through Vivizak's lab, I think I've started piecing this all together. I already figured it out. Wait, did I actually already mention it? I'm pretty sure I already did, right? Never do you mean, Beta? You're starting to confuse. Vivizak said the victims here died in infighting. But if that were the case, you wouldn't be alive. Not unless you were the one responsible. Isn't that right? Subject Lima. Oh boy. You figured it out, huh? Still, you took your sweet time acting upon it. I've been waiting here hours wondering when you'd try to kill me. I expected you'd just forget about Salina Town and leave without saying goodbye. How stupid of me. I really should have had my way with you earlier. Yeah, you really should have. Still, you had your quest and I didn't want to beat on the path Elliot set you on. That's all in the past now. Right now, I can let you walk away after discovering my little secret. If you do, there won't be any more visitors. And I love feasting on demons. I'm here for more. Here we go. Song actually bops. The heck? Time to wake up, fool. I must feed. I was hoping to buy some potions before starting the boss fight, but considering she is the potion shop and now she's the boss, yeah, you can see how that could never have been the case. That was never meant to be. Do not resist, Harbinger. Let me consume you. Okay, I'm not into vor. I think. I'm not sure what Veta's fetishes are. Fetishes? Am I growing an accent? Gotta say though, Pentasta's kind of the weakest link in the party. Sure, didn't fall asleep. Also, I thought I turned off animations. Why Why does everything still take so long? Really? Why won't you die already? That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. I will not rest until your body lays beneath my maw. Now be a good little girl and dock yourself to me. Determination. Good riddance, I guess. Farewell, Rachel. May the guardians have mercy on your soul. She was a convenient shop owner, though, but well, we're moving to a new place anyway, so. Well, that was quite the side quest. That took an hour. Jackalites. Oh, I meant the hide battle animations. My bad. The castle. Hello? Look, I think I've come to the wrong place, so I'll just go back the way I... Who are you? A friend, Veta. And unlike those fools in New Lumenia, I'm not here to cause problems. My purpose is a different one. How do I know you're telling the truth? We've never met before, and here you are, talking to me as if we're old friends. I'd say that's reason enough to be skeptical. Skeptical? Truth, you say. Interesting. The Narc has raised you well. Wait, do you know my father? Of course. Everyone in New Lumenia remembers him. The defiant captain who ran from the Lightbringer's grasp and abandoned his people. At least, that's what the people of New Lumenia think. As for me, I already know what kind of man he really is. He's certainly more interesting than those puppets of New Lumenia. Unlike them, we know the danger that corruption brings. That's why you're here, isn't it? I guess. You've been through quite a lot, haven't you? More than you know? Well, maybe I can help. Really how? As you probably know, our world of Transect is filled with powerful energies. Magic that transcends understanding. Check the recording report. And only the greatest of minds are to manipulate it. But I ask you this, Beta. Where do you think magic comes from? Our hearts. The astral plane? Correct, the astral plane. Created by the Lightbringer, it is a strange and powerful realm where magic is plentiful and the spirits flow freely. Okay, but why are you telling me this? Because the road ahead will lead to foes who will use the powers of the astral plane against you. And when the time comes, you must be prepared to resist whatever foul abilities they will use against you. How? By sending you to the astral plane, to stand against the enemies of your past. Greatest foes? What do you... my head? Wait, where am I? The astral plane, Beta. The realm where all the magic in Ransack originates from. So what did you mean by facing the greatest foes of my past again? Why am I here? Come, I'll show you. Whoa. Impressive, correct? This is the Hall of Memories. A place within the astral plane that allows you to enter the vast depths of your mind and relive your memories. Yes, I understand that this must all be a little confusing for you, Beta. But all you need to know is this. Scattered around this place are little spirits that can help you relive your past battles. They may be odd, but they're very docile. You should have no trouble communing with them. What happens if I successfully do so? If all goes well, you'll be sent deeper into your soul to fight your old enemies. Bear in mind, however, that the memories of your foes are not physical beings. They will return again after being defeated. But this fact alone ensures that you may hone your skills for as long as you wish. And should you grow tired of fighting, you are free to return to the physical plane of Transac by talking to me. Is that everything? I believe so. Thank you for your help. My pleasure, Harbinger. Okay, so this is a boss rush area. In case we ever want to fight the bosses we've already fought again before. Veda? Yes? Cool. Here to fight memories? Maybe. Thought so. Me and brothers can help with that. But before we fight, we want something. What is it you want? Shiny coins? My money? Yes, but not all. Only some. But your spirit, why would you need gold? You know what? Never mind. How much do you need? Depends on memory. Smaller foes, go for less shiny bits. Larger ones, require more. So the bigger the enemy, the more gold it'll cost me? Yep. What happens after that? We send you deep into your mind. To baddies you may or may not have killed. After that, you fight. When enemy dies, you come back safe. If you die, you die. Well, that's reassuring. Do I at least get anything from this? Mainly experience. Also, might get treasure if lucky. Anything else I need to know? One thing. When you beat Pro, you can come back here and fight again. But still need to pay. Great. Well, thanks for the explanation. No problem. So, would you like to fight? Leviathan. Hello, Beta. Would you like to return back? Cool. Well, having ways to replay stuff is always appreciated in long-ass games. Always sucks when there's no way to replay things. Like, I mean, not like you'd ever want to, but don't you just ever wish you could just go through the Vanna Boris quest in Breath of the Wild again? Just for funsies. Here's another ring. Yep, we're just stealing it again. Negata. Let's see how far ahead he is. Of course. I think this is on purpose. I'm convinced. Interesting. OBS lol. And unless I'm wrong, I believe this is everyone. Although there is a formation screen, so who knows? Forces all enemies to direct their attacks toward the user. Oh, it's a tanker. I mean, yeah, look at that HP, holy crackers. Ooh! Yep, a tanker, alright. Ooh. That's supposed to synergize with Beta. 200 fixed damage. Oh, costs a lot of MP, so it's not really all that worth it considering I'm already able to deal pretty close to 200 damage and consistently at that and for much cheaper and easier. Hello, little girl. You looking for the city? Okay, racism. whispers below. What? Okay. Okay. Not very talkative, the people here. Yeah, I agree. The Duke. What's there? Okay, so is everyone here just a fanatic? Or something? Some of them literally just waste time. What do you got? Still the same stuff. I definitely want equipment. Dang it. We're just running around in circles. What even is this picture? Okay. First, what are we doing with our lives? What's our ultimate purpose? Uh, whatever drugs you're on, I suggest you stop. Brower. And no one's liking this place. Phoenix. Okay. 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 Guess I'm going to the library. Can I help you? I'm okay. I just came to have a look around. Good story. Did Patrick write that? Ooh. Sewers, of course. We're gonna go there, aren't we? So many text. And it's always world building. Worlds just don't mean too much to me. The main thing I look for in a story is the character writing. Everything else is kinda secondary. If you write me something that's purely character writing, I'm gonna eat it up, you can bet. But if it's just world or just purely focused on advancing the plot, then you can bet your ass I'm gonna be bored as fuck. I'm sure someone out there can find this kind of thing interesting, albeit formulaic. As like I said, there isn't anything story-wise here that's very original. Something that hasn't been done before. I don't know. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being unoriginal. Since I still read a lot of Yuri, and although I'm quite familiar with a lot of tropes and stuff, and that's like the whole point of having a genre. It's so that you can see new things, you can see the same story told differently. You listen to rock because you like hearing the same instruments and the same chords that are associated with the genre of rock. And you read romance because you're interested in the tropes and the story archetype characters and stuff that are associated with the genre. Cool story. Are you playing Among Us? You play too much Among Us. Take a break from it. Among Us was already out, although not as popular. At the time this game came out, I think. What's up, Dad? I must speak with Luminax. The Lightbringer isn't expecting any visitors today, Chief. Leave now. Fools, don't you see that our world is being consumed by corruption? I demand an audience with the Lightbringer. You are in no position to make any demands, traitor. Take your problems elsewhere and leave us. Fine, but I will return. I'll be back. Father, what's going on? Vita, I see you made it here safely. First, let's talk somewhere a little more private. Away from prying eyes. I'm standing right here, idiot. Oh, look, it can listen after all. Damn those fools. Do they fail to see the severity of the situation? Obviously, the new Lumenia isn't going to give us what we want. We must find another way to speak with humans. What we got in mind? Meet me in New Lumenia Library. Just north of here and how we'll be able to get inside the castle. Come see me as soon as you can. So then. Let me guess. The sewers. Good to see you, Veta. Come here for a sec. Good. Now I've been reading through the various maps of New Lumenia, and I believe I found a way into Castle Luminax. What's that? The Lumenia sewers. It's a labyrinth of canals buried deep under the city. It's used by the people of the city to remove anything they don't want. But as I suspected, there's an escape route down there that'll take you right into the heart of the castle. Father? How do you know all this? Sewers? Castle? New Lumenia? Luminax? Was the castle guard earlier called you traitor? Earlier. Is there something you're not telling me? A lot of things, but you shouldn't care about that. All that matters is that we save Vinima, correct? What do you want me to do? Yeah, this is the problem. You're the problem, Beta. The only way we're going to speak to Luminax is by going to the castle. As such, I need you to enter the sewers. Find a secret escape route, fight your way through the castle, and find Luminax. Simple enough for you, right? Sure. I'm the Harbinger. How do I even enter the sewers? The manholes are shut tight and I doubt anyone here is going to help me. Don't worry, my darling daughter. I already have that covered. A little friend of mine wanted to give you this. This will let you open the manholes found around New Lumenia and enter the Lumenia sewers. Oh, and you'll also need this. Another ring spirit? Some of the creatures lurking in the sewers are very dangerous, but with this spirit you should be quite safe. Take a step back and try it on. Ah, another one right away, huh? Alright, so we do get more than 3 spirits. Let's see what she does. Or he. Urashin. Urahin? Oh, that you should be all set. There's something wrong? Father, there's something I need to tell you. What is it? I found the Tenarch Manor. I also found Vivizak's old laboratory buried deep beneath the estate. What's more, I read through his journals. So I must ask, did you really kill your parents? Oh! Oh? I need to return to Finima. I'll speak to you again after you see Luminax. Until we meet again, Vita. Wait, you didn't answer my... Father. Ooh, more defensive utility. Well, it did say Contest was the weakest link, so... I mean, Impatience is super powerful though, but... Alright, that makes enough sense. Vesaloon's still very useful. Why not? Let's try it, Purahin. Great. But okay. Don't touch the pink liquid. It's dangerous today, mans. Ouch. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to skip their turn. I didn't even know you could do that, what the heck? Defense isn't in very high demand though, isn't it? Go ahead and remove Nagata. Urashin's defense up should be more than enough defensive utility for now. Until the game becomes a bit... Until the enemies decide to hit a little harder. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. It's almost midnight, so I should go to bed.